Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel once again. If today is your first time, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Precious Ifani, your host on Everything Teen channel. In this place, we learn, we connect, we have fun, we educate ourselves, and lots more. So, welcome. And if you're ready with me, let's ride. So today I'm going to be talking about a topic that is controversial, a topic that is often not very much discussed among gatherings of people, a topic that is not really discussed among people, among families, in church, in traditional settings, in religious settings, a topic that most parents are embarrassed to talk to their younger ones, their children about, and a topic that, unfortunately, almost everybody knows about it, including the child that you think doesn't know anything about it. So you can guess the topic, right? Sex. That's the topic. So what is sex? In a layman's understanding, sex is the coming together of a male and female, the fusing of the female and male genitals for the purpose of reproduction or pleasure or what have you. So basically, that's what sex is. Now, we were taught of what sex. Okay, so growing up, especially in Africa, our African parents, or I should say most African parents, lied to their children about sex. Unfortunately, lied to them about sex because they didn't want them to misbehave. Now, the intention was not to mislead them. The intention was not to deceive them, but the intention was to even help them stay chaste, to help them stay holy, stay away from sex, be responsible as it were. But it was lie. Now, I'm going to share with you some of those lies that our parents told us about sex, and maybe we could start thinking of what the right approach to sex really is, because many times most parents are worried about how exactly they should teach their younger children of what sex is, how exactly they should teach their teenagers, their kids, what sex is or the idea of sex. So it's either they don't teach sex at all, or they teach the wrong things about sex. They teach you what sex is not. They give you the wrong perspective. And the funny thing is, if you give a child the wrong perspective, they will soon grow to know what the right one is. And many times, they won't have where to fall back to by the time their foundations are shaken. So that's why I consider today's topic very important, that we discuss about it and really get to know what the right perspective is. And, while trying to consider the wrong one, to look at the wrong ones that our parents taught us. Now, the first thing that parents told us about sex is that sex is bad. Hey, how do you say that sex is bad? Sex is not bad. Now, let me start by saying that sex was created by God. God is the origin of sex. He created sex in the Garden of Eden, and it was supposed to be something beautiful. I mean, a holy God cannot create something unholy. If God created sex, it means that sex is beautiful, sex is holy, sex is good. However, sex is only holy, good, fantastic, welcoming within a confine, within a circle, and that circle is called marriage. So, in Africa, whereas most parents teach their children that sex is bad, that sex is, in fact, in our dialects, they'll call it ihiberibe, that sex is a terrible thing. But that's not what it is. Sex is good, sex is beautiful, just that it should be done at the appropriate time, in the right way, with the right person. So if you know that, then it will help you understand how to approach sex, so that even the question of, why is my mom not allowing me to have sex? Why is my mom saying that sex is bad? That question gets answered for the teenager. Now, the next lie our parents told us about sex is that when you have sex, you will get pregnant. And when you get pregnant, you will drop out of school. Well, first of all, that does not apply to the male counterpart, because a boy can never ever get pregnant. Then it means they are free to have sex. Is that true? I don't think so. So when you tell a child that when they have sex they will get pregnant, well, that would only hold in the past, because today younger generation know how to navigate their way around sex. They know how to use protection, they know how to count their cycle, they know how to do a lot of things. They know pills to take before and after sex. So those teachings cannot be a reason an average teenager wouldn't have sex, wouldn't go involved in sex. So they should know what the truth is, and that's what this video is about. Our parents told us that when you have sex, you will get pregnant. But I mean, I'm a teen coach and I work with teenagers. I've had so many of them come around to tell me I've had rounds of sex. And you're looking at them, they're not pregnant. And you can be sure what they did. You know, some of them are smarter than their parents. They play a smart game. So parents watching this, you really need to wake up, because this generation is different from the one we had 50 years ago, from the one we had 40 years ago. So we need to know what to teach our children about sex and what not to teach them. Because if we continue to shield the truth, one day, I promise you, they will discover the truth. And when they do, they will hate it. They wouldn't want to take those advices that you're giving them again. We've even had situations where a teenager will get pregnant, have a baby, and still go back to school. I mean, if they have a mother who can take care of the baby, or they can give out the baby for adoption, they can always get back to school. So it means that getting pregnant is not enough reason to threaten a child, to threaten a teenager about sex. So there has to be something stronger. And you're going to find out in this video. Now, the next thing that is a lie that our parents told us about sex is that when you have sex, you will contract infection. Well, today, we know that there are so many virgins who have infections. Who did they have sex with? You can contract infection in toilets, in public toilets. You can contract infection from the places you spread your underwears, and even from water you take, from so many things that you do. You can get infected with diseases. So it means that infection is not just a product of sex. All right? There's so many other ways to contract infection. And by the way, if you teach your children that contracting infection happens when you have sex, they can be smarter. They can use protection. They can just make sure that their partner is not infected by any disease, any virus, any infection. They can go as far as having tests to be sure that this person is sound. And then they go ahead and cruise. And then who will you blame? You will blame yourself as a parent that taught them the wrong thing. Bible said that truth is a deliverer. You know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Half-truth is more dangerous than lie many times. That's why we need to start telling our children what the truth is. I mean, you don't have to tell them everything at the first instance or at the first day of the teaching, but there are bits of information you can start giving them about sex, so that as they progress, they will get to discover the truth about sex and take the right step when it's time. Now, the final point I'm going to share for today is our parents told us that when you have sex, you will not be able to have children. Our parents told us that when you have sex before marriage, you won't get married. Who said so? I've seen people, if you've not seen, I've seen people who literally were living wayward lives you will call wayward anyway, and all of a sudden they're married to somebody that is your dream husband. And they're living an amazing and fantastic life, and you're like, is that not Julie? Is that not Sandra? Is that not Margaret? I thought she used to be a wayward girl. Well, it happens. That's life. Besides, you don't judge a book by its cover. Now, I'm trying to say that telling your children that having sex will stop them from getting married is a lie. It's a complete fallacy, because that's not the truth. They can have sex and even have children, and tomorrow they could get married. So there's something else you need to tell them about sex that is not this. They could have sex and still find out that, oh, God has forgiven me, so I can move on. I can get married. I can have my kids. I can just keep living life. So there has to be something that you tell them that stands as a pillar in their life that helps them to know, oh, I don't do this. Oh, I don't just do this. Okay? And that has to start happening between parents and children, between teachers and learners, between adults and younger generation. We need to breach that gap. We need to stop the lie. In Africa, we need to stop the lie. We need to tell our younger ones the truth about what sex is and how they should go about it. Now, this is not a video encouraging teenagers to engage in sex before time. No, that's not it. But this video is geared at helping parents communicate better to their teenagers what sex is and how they should see sex, and prepare them on the standards to take to avoid getting involved when it's not time. Now, I'm going to share with you just 2, and in the next video, you will expect more. What is one reason a teenager should not have sex? Do you really want to know? Then listen attentively. First reason is because God said so. Now, this may sound very simple, and of course, I beg your pardon, I'll be religious on this. They should know that God said so. If you're a Christian and you believe the Bible, then the Bible is against it. God is against premarital sex. And if you love God and you want to obey God, then you should obey his instruction. In the Bible, Joseph said, how can I do this evil thing against God and against my master? So he recognized that it's not just about him. He is sent here by God and he's accountable to God. And physically, he's also accountable to his master. So the respect and the regard he had for God stopped him from having sex with Potiphar's wife. So having a relationship with God is very important. That's why young people should have that strong relationship with God, because it gives them a foundation for their life. A lot to say about that, but I'll move on. The next point is because it is against your value. One of the things I do as a teen coach is I help my teenagers develop values with which they live their lives. Now, I know you want to have a great future. I know you want to be a medical doctor, a renowned philosopher, a renowned musician, a renowned artist, a renowned journalist, whatever. You want to be somebody. You want to make it. You want to stand out in the society. Probably get into politics. Probably, just have an amazing future. Those values are going to help you. So you need to cultivate values that represent the kind of future you want, that represent the kind of person you want to be. You want people to see you as, you want to portray out there in the society. And I'm sure having premarital sex is not part of those values. So if it's not part of those values, then why get involved in it? So if you say, I won't have sex before marriage because it's against my value, that sounds stronger. That presents you as a firm person, as a more, a deliberate teenager. You have the value of staying chaste, the value of chastity, integrity, honesty. You want to have a kind of life that you'll be proud of in the nearest future. You want to have a past that you can easily visit and not be ashamed or embarrassed. That's the kind of value you should develop. And that should be the reason you stand your ground and say, I don't do this. Yes, everybody can do it, but I don't. Besides, everybody's doing it is a terrible anthem. And I don't want to get involved in it. So you should have yourself values, core values, values of purity, values of focus, values that represent the kind of future you want. Honesty, integrity, excellence, a role model, things that you want to be known for. So when you do that, you will discover that it will be difficult to get involved in those kind of lifestyles. So as a parent, it will be important that you start helping your younger ones to develop values with which they live their lives. And those values should always resonate with the actions that they take as they grow. If you do that, we're going to raise a more intentional generation. We're going to be raising a stronger and moral generation. And that will be the best thing to do. All right, thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. I'm so excited that you had to ride with me till this point. Join me in the next video as we continue to discuss the lies our parents told us about sex. And in the next video, I'm going to share with you things you should teach your teenagers in place of the lies our African parents told us. And that way, we'll raise a stronger generation. Thank you so much. If you like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel, please, and ring my bell so you'll be the first to get notifications when I post my videos. Peace.